Hi, it's Alaska Granny. I thought I would share with you some ideas of what I did for prepping this week so that I can make sure my life keeps running smoothly. Maybe these are some ideas that you might want to consider doing too. Well, winter is well underway. We've had lots of snow and it's been super cold. I have to get up in the morning and walk my dog. So I got out all of my winter jackets, made sure that they were all clean and in good repair and still fit. Then I always like to take each jacket and put a pair of gloves in the pocket so that I know that I have some. Right when my hands get cold, I can reach in my pockets and put on my gloves, and then I always have some available. It's just a simple thing I've done for decades for myself and my family members is I get out the jackets, put gloves in the pockets, and then they're right there when you need them. And you know, you can always have a basket for some others in case one gets misplaced or you need an extra pair. But just to have them already ready, you don't have to remember to hunt for your gloves. You've got them right there when you need them. I also went on Amazon and ordered myself a few extra snuggly, soft, cuddly blankets just to have available. I wanted something nice, soft, new, fuzzy, and this year I wanted some pink. So I ordered myself a few fuzzy blankets. I have them available to throw on whenever it gets a little cold. It's easier to put a blanket or a sweater on, pull on some big heavy socks rather than turn up the heat. And as things become more expensive, it might be a good idea to look over your blankets. Make sure you have a stack of blankets handy so that you can pull them out and snuggle up. It's also the time of year to think about colds and flu. So I made sure I had an additional supply of any cold or flu or any kind of remedies that I think I might need this winter season. I also got some vitamin C just to have a few extras on hand because vitamin C keeps us healthy. It's something that our body can't store. It's important that you're getting it if you can in fruits and vegetables. But in case you think you're not getting the vitamin C that you need, just get something like a supplement so that you can make sure that every day you're having the nutrition that you need. I went through one of my cabinets, took out all of the water bottles that I filled up myself and stored, and I poured that water out and replaced it with some fresh water to make sure that I have fresh drinking water, emergency water. Anytime you have a clean container, fill it up with water when you put it away. Don't put it away empty. If you get some of the sturdy bottles, some of them are cheap and they're squishy. You probably don't want to reuse those. But if you get a sturdy type container that's only held food, and it's really nice if it's only held water, you can just fill it up again. Then you have some emergency water. It's an easy thing to do. I have dozens of them. I put them under each sink in my house so you can reach for something if you need it. Because you're not only going to need water for drinking, you're going to need it for food preparation, you're going to need it for hygiene purposes, washing things out. So have it available so that say you're in the shower and you have your hair full of shampoo and the water stops running, you can at least reach under the bathroom sink, get some bottles, even if then they're going to be cold. You can rinse the soap off. So it helps you in an emergency. Get through it for the moment, and then you can figure out what to do next. I've also been going through my prepper pantry, figuring out how I can rotate some of the foods that I have, especially into things like soup, stews, and chilies because it's cold. So it's a good time of year to be able to just put a few cans together and make a quick meal. It's best if we can have the freshest foods possible, but that isn't always available to us. So have the freshest foods on hand, have some in your freezer, but then rely on the foods in your pantry so that in all kinds of situations, you have food available. I know that I've had my freezer stop working and before I knew it, everything was unfit to eat. And that can be a tragedy. But then because that's not the only food that I have a pantry full of food, I could still go on preparing meals for my family. If you look at some of these terrible hurricanes they had in the eastern states this fall, some of the people were without power for 2 to 3 weeks. And I know that happened to my daughter a few years ago in an ice storm in the Pacific Northwest. Her home was without power for 8 or 9 days. She had a toddler and a newborn baby. You have to be prepared for the worst things that can happen to you so that then you can deal with the inconveniences that happen, that you can get through it. You have a plan and an idea. And it wasn't easy, and that's the thing with a power outage. Nobody knows when the power is going to be coming back on, and so you have to just deal with it. Just in the last 2 weeks, my power has gone off here 2 different times, and that's very unusual. So over the last, say, 6 months, my power has probably gone off 6 times, and that is extremely unusual. And so it's something that I really have to plan more going forward to make sure that, say in the deep of winter, if it goes off for an extended period of time, that I'm going to be able to have flashlights, emergency lights, candles, and emergency heat. Because if it's going to be 40 below and the power goes off, you absolutely need to have some backup way to stay warm. So it may not be as extreme where you are, but you might want to have an idea of what are you going to do if something like that drags on, because you just don't know how long it can happen. And you also need to be resilient, because the power was off for like 8 hours this summer, and it was still summer. Yeah, it was cool, but it was summer, and one of the neighbors was freaking out about how is she going to stay warm, and it's like, put on a jacket, get a blanket. So I don't know if that's your attitude, that you're scared in the summer of a power outage when it's light 22 hours a day. What are you gonna do if it's winter and it's freezing? Yeah, so try not to panic when you have to encounter these minor inconveniences. And if you think of them as inconveniences rather than tragic events, you'll get through it better. Leave it in the comments below. What prepping did you do this week, and how are you preparing for an uncertain future? I think we need to prepare like a pessimist but live like an optimist. It makes every day more enjoyable. I hope you'll like my video, share it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.